Hello everyone and welcome to another Elliott Wave analysis. So today I want to talk about the S&P 500. Now, before that, I think the last time I talked about S&P 500, right, it's actually quite long ago, 23rd of May, right? So then it was a short idea, right? So if you have played this, it worked out for a short while, right? And then yeah, it didn't reach the target before it moved up again. Now, so over here in this I believe I do have quite detailed breakdown on the wave, right? So I've already cleaned up this wave because it's just too messy, right? And then over here, what you see is that uh, this wave, these two waves never change, right? This wave also didn't change this first wave, but what happens is that now um, I've cleaned up the waves such that what you see is just these like wave one, wave two, wave three, right? And then wave four and final wave five that will complete this Y wave of this very big correction, right? So this to me is kind of like a wave B, right? So over here you see a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down, right? So this one is since February 20th of February until 7th of April, right? So this is the corrective wave A. So this is on a bigger on a higher degree, right? So let me increase this font. Right, so it's a wave A, and we are going to wave B. That is a double combination where this Y wave is super strong. Okay, so this will be our wave two. Now, what's interesting is really the development here for the last wave, the fifth wave itself, where I have identified an what is known as an ending diagonal, right? Ending diagonal. Okay, so over this one, I'll leave it here, right? So we can go through this fifth wave itself because it's a bit interesting, right? And there is actually an alternate count where we are still waiting for the peak, right? But before that, let me just go through this. Where you see over here, 23rd May itself, right? This move up here I label as ABC, right? And then another ABC, another ABC. Well, actually, it's really speaking, they are more like WXY, right? Because if you see the move is like separated into three way for A, right? And then there's also another ABC, and then up there's another three wave, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down, right? So really speaking, is really a mini WXY, right? Where you have a three wave breakdown in between, right? Even for this third wave itself, right? It's also an ABC X ABC, right? And then this also ABC, right? I don't want to go into the technicalities of this. I just prefer to label them as ABC, right, instead of WXY. Okay. It's just because this is on a lower degree, right? And I just do not like to put WXY on lower degree, right? It's a personal preference. Now, what do I mean when I say that this entire move may not have completed? Okay, uh, it's actually because of this, right? If you see over here, I also have a three wave. Okay, and there is a chance that it'll follow the patterns of the previous two waves, right? Which is that this ABC is really just part of this small move here, right? And then we are actually having another um, ABC, right? So if that happens, the target that we're looking for is 6087.5 around here, right? This is where ideally you will want to go long. I sorry, you're going to go short, right? But that is a case where this may be the peak. Okay, and just want to present this right along with the awareness that it may not have ended, right? So how would this be? Is that if this is the peak, right? If you adjust this top trend line down here, okay, adjust top trend line. So then this becomes what you call a throw over, right? Or a false breakout. Okay, throw over or false breakout, right? So then it adds to the strength. So if you are going to short over here, right, your option is actually quite straightforward, right? If you short here, right, you'll place your stop loss above this high, right? Because then you'll be waiting for 87 to go short. Okay, right? And your potential is actually quite big, right? Even this is actually a conservative target, right? This previous wave 4 area, right? But it is a short-term target, right? Without making the entire ideal too ridiculous in terms of risk reward, right? Because it could go all the way down here, right? But then let's make it more rational, okay? So if you short over here, your stop loss is here, right? But if it breaks out, your another option is actually to short over here, okay? Now, you may want to know what is the rationale for 6087, right? So I will give it to you now. Okay, so if you use the Fibonacci, right, you will realize that wave 3 is currently not the uh, longest, right? So that what that means is that um, wave 5 itself, right, it cannot be longer than wave 3, right? Even though this unfolds in 3 wave, right? But because it is still a part of an impulsive move up, right? It's not really considered a corrective move, so it is still restricted by wave 3 length, right? So over here, if we move this adjustment, right, wave 3 and wave 5 against wave 5, you'll notice that the peak is at 6087, right? A 0.3.5 doesn't really matter. I'm not too precise over here, right? But yeah, so this represents the entire peak, right? So it's like ultimate peak that it cannot breach, right? If you breach, that means that my Elliott wave count is wrong. Okay, so that's why you can have a very very small stop loss over here, right? So I mean, if it goes to this price now, it doesn't have to, right? Because it has already done the ABC, right? So we can continue to observe this, like so. Over here, I give you two different entries. One is here, and one is over here. Now, of course, if you are a big enough trader, you can choose to scale in, right? You can choose to short here first, right? And you have enough risk appetite, then you short again here, and then the stop loss will still be above this 6087. But give it some leeway, if you can 6100 is a good place to put, right? If not, a really tight stop is actually good enough, right? So that's it for this idea, right? So lastly, I'll put in this arrow here, right? Remember that this is only the initial target, right? Which you reach here, right? You do not have to close out your position because the true potential of this entire move goes all the way down to 4,800 and below, right? So to keep this more realistic, right, looking instead of a super unrealistic kind of risk reward, I'll just leave it the first target here. Okay, so that's it for now, and thank you for watching, and good luck. Thank you.